An extra $200 a month can grow to about $130,000 in super, but it can also quietly erase the holiday, recovery time, or career move that matters now. In the next few minutes, you will have a simple way to give each dollar a job without pretending every household wants the same life. The ATO cap, the 15% contributions tax, and the lockup rules give us useful maths. They do not choose the life for us. We are going to test surplus cash against three jobs, future, present, and career, then use a guardrail before any of them gets the lot. First, remember the baseline. Employers are already paying the super guarantee for eligible workers. Extra super is not your only retirement plan, it is an extra layer on top of the automatic layer. That matters because guilt loves to call every non-super dollar irresponsible. Concessional contributions share one annual cap. For the relevant period in the blog, it is $30,000 across employer payments, salary sacrifice, and deductible personal contributions. Before adding anything, check what your employer has already used. A generous-looking lane can be much narrower than it appears. Why does extra super keep winning spreadsheets? Concessional money is generally taxed at 15% in the fund, which can be lower than the tax on income you take home. That is a real advantage. It is not a magic spell, and it is not worth ignoring your cash position. The spreadsheet cannot promise returns, future law, health, work plans, or exactly when you will retire. It can model a contribution. Treat the model like a weather forecast, useful for choosing a jacket, not a guarantee that the picnic will unfold exactly as planned. In the blog illustration, $200 a month for 25 years at a 6% net return reaches roughly $130,000. The point is not to worship one forecast. The point is that time gives repeated contributions a long runway, and that runway is valuable. The future jar is extra super. Its predictable rewards are tax efficiency and compounding. Its price is access. Once money goes in, it is generally not there for a broken fridge, a job gap, or a family trip. Future, you gets a vote, but not the only vote. The present jar pays for rest, family time, hobbies, and the things that make a hard year feel lived rather than merely survived. A holiday has no compound interest chart. It can still be a deliberate purchase, especially when it reconnects family or restores energy. An $8,000 family trip has an opportunity cost. In the super illustration, it is roughly the same order of money as 3 years of $200 monthly contributions. That number is not a guilt machine. It is simply the price tag that lets you decide whether the trip is worth it. The career jar covers a course, license, tool, conference, or change that could improve work. Its return is lumpy. A useful qualification may lift income, a vague program may mostly lift your collection of tote bags. Ask what decision this spending changes within 18 months. A course that contributes to a $12,000 pay rise can repay itself quickly, and higher income can also mean more compulsory super later. That does not make every course an investment. It means career spending deserves the same sober questions we give an investment fund. Here is the quiet question worth asking halfway through. If you put every spare dollar into super this year, what real problem would your household still be carrying next year? Sometimes the answer is none. Sometimes it is burnout, thin savings, or work that has stopped moving. Super is generally locked until preservation age, which is 60 for most younger workers. That is exactly why it can protect retirement money. It is also why calling it an emergency fund is like storing the spare house key in a locked house. If your buffer is thin, liquidity comes before optimization. High-interest debt and an empty emergency account can turn an elegant super strategy into a stressful scramble. You do not need a heroic cash pile overnight. You need enough breathing room that a normal bad week does not become expensive debt. The wrong comparison is super versus fun. The better comparison is super versus the next best use of money after bills, debt, and a buffer. A course may create income. A trip may protect relationships. A buffer may stop debt. They are different tools, not moral failures. This is also a household conversation. One partner can be quietly maximizing salary sacrifice while the other is quietly postponing family time. That is not a spreadsheet disagreement. It is a priorities disagreement wearing a spreadsheet costume. Put the three jars on the table before resentment gets there first. For higher-income households, extra tax rules such as Division 293 can change the net result. You do not need to memorize every rule tonight. You do need to know when the generic advice has run out and when checking the ATO or a licensed professional becomes sensible. Start only with real surplus, money left after bills, debt repayments, and a sensible buffer contribution. Imagine it is $600 a month. This is not a recommendation for what you should earn or save. It is a clean way to stop every decision fighting over the same imaginary dollar. One household might send half to future, a third to present, and the rest to career. Another may tilt harder toward cash while changing jobs. Another may use cap room before a planned pay rise. The percentage is less important than agreeing on it before the money evaporates. Life stage changes the answer. A younger worker with stable savings may value the long runway. Parents in a rough season may need a joy floor. Someone with a career bottleneck may need skills. The best split is allowed to change when life changes. Tonight, check your concessional contributions year to date. Employer contributions count. That one check tells you whether salary sacrifice still fits inside the concessional lane, or whether you are about to make a decision with different tax rules than the shiny headline promised. Then price one holiday you genuinely want, one skill expense you would actually use, and one extra super amount you could sustain. Do not optimize a fictional version of yourself who never gets tired, never has a repair bill, and apparently eats sunlight. Use 3 questions. Can we access this money when life goes sideways? What is the tax or income upside? And what problem does this choice solve for our household right now? The answer will not always point to super, and that is not a failure. Extra super is powerful because the rules are relatively clear: cap room, tax treatment, and time. Holidays and personal development are messier because people are messier. Let the numbers inform the decision, then choose a mix you can live with now and still respect later. General information only, not personal advice. Check the ATO and a licensed professional for your situation. The useful next move is small. Check cap room, protect your buffer, and write your own future, present, and career percentages before the next payday chooses for you.